This is Chris from the Parx-e Show here, and today I have a very special guest here. He's come all the way from Sweden, Mr. Robert Parker. I first came across his music on YouTube and I was hooked. How does it feel being in Melbourne, Australia?
Yeah, it's amazing. Really nice and warm compared to Sweden.
So how did you get into music for you? What inspired you to get into music?
Well, I'm actually a classically trained pianist, so I was taught piano as a boy, but I never really learned to read notes well, so I sort of played by ear. And in the 1990s I came into tracking music and did a lot of computer-based tracking music. And after that I sort of got into more synthesized bass music in the early 2000s. So it's I came in this with a lot of inspiration from the demo scene in the 90s.
Nice. So how does the song start for you?
Well, I usually start with a beat of some kind. I usually try to get an idea of the full song immediately, because if I don't, it usually doesn't go anywhere. So I sort of try to imagine the entire track build up from the beginning, with how to plan the song, and after adding a beat and a bass line, I work with ideas of chord progressions and leads and so on. So the percussion comes first, and and everything else comes second.
So once doing all that, do you go with, I assume you use a Macintosh, and yes, what software do you use as an artist to get your, I assume you'll be using Pro Tools?
No, I'm using Ableton Live, but I recently switched to Ableton Live. I've used Sonar, a Cakewalk Sonar, for many years, and since Sonar isn't available for Macintosh, I had to switch the digital audio workstation as well. So now I'm an Ableton Live user.
Right. So you've had a number of songs. Are you happy how the response has been to your music and how everyone from around the world is getting what you're doing and digging your tunes and getting behind what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, especially the last year, I've had a great response actually. So it's just in the last year that I've gotten requests to play live, and really, that's really flattering. It's really cool to be able to travel around the world.
So have you done many live shows, or have you just been doing the music, pointing it out there for people to get?
In this project with this kind of music, I've done. This is my 5th live show, so
wow.
So not many actually, but I've played a different kind of music. 15 years ago, I played in an Irish folk music band, so that was totally different than this. So I'm used to playing live, but the electronic part is quite new for me actually.
So how do you get from doing folk music to doing electronic and synthesized music?
Well, I also, when I was a kid, I sang in a boys' choir, and a few of my friends from that choir, they started this folk music band. So we sort of sang and play instruments together. So that's how I got into that, and it's a totally different kind of music, of course, but that's a really nice music to play live. When you play in the pubs, you're close to the audience. It's usually small venues, really familiar atmosphere. So that's how I came into that. I don't do that anymore.
I can understand that. So how do you prepare for doing a live show? How do you prepare for doing a live show? What's your preparation?
Well, the venues have slightly different angles, what kind of music they would like to hear, but I try to combine a lot of hardware with the tracks I make. I mean, I usually use a lot of hardware making the tracks, so my ambition when I play live is to try to bring as much of my original hardware to the gig, so it will be as authentic as possible.
Nice. So what do you hope the rest of the year 2016 have in store for you?
the rest of the year. There are a few more live shows on its way. Nothing is completely settled yet, and I'm also releasing a record on new Retrowave Records in a month.
Nice.
So, and I also have a few other projects, a few other releases later in this year, but that I'm not really able to talk about yet.
That's cool. So is this music still the passion, or is the music for you still the passion, but are you hoping you'll be able to do this for full time, do this career? And
I don't know how far this will take me, but I do what I enjoy. I mean, I really enjoy doing this, and if other people like to listen, then that's enough of a reward for me, actually.
So, as an artist, do you have moments where you just can't think for an idea for a song and you can't write it, and
like a writer's block? Or?
Oh yeah, that type of thing. Like for you, it's probably like your ideas block.
Yeah, all the time. I guess everyone has that. I usually try to get around it by listening to new music. I mean, the key to be able to create something new is to not just repeat your own ideas all the time. You need to have impressions from other artists. I mean, both new artists and older music. So whenever I get a writer's block, I try to listen around to music I haven't heard before, and usually then new ideas pop up. You find something, this drum beat is nice, or something else, and you can use something like that and make it your own.
So when you record your songs, so recording your new material, was it different to the stuff you've done in the past, or was the process more or less the same?
Basically more or less it's the same process. Yeah, hasn't changed much. No.
So what do you hope people get out of the show on Friday night, and also your shows in general? What do you hope people get when they come see Mr. Robert Parker play live?
Well, I hope to get a good response from the audience, of course. I mean, people come there to have a good time, and well, I hope they will.
So where to you has been the most strangest place you've heard someone enjoying your music apart from Australia?
Do you mean where I
played,
or?
Just like a fan's discovered your music and it's from some weird country that you never think they'd
some weird country,
or any country that you think, Jesus, they listen to my music.
No, I don't know. I mean, when I look at where people where the listeners come from, I mean, the majority is from the United States and Russia, actually. It's
really?
Actually 50-50 the US and Russia. And then after that it's the UK, France, Eastern Europe and Australia. So that's more or less where the big audience come from. But now and then there are some people from South America and South Africa and so on.
So you think Bandcamp has been helpful in getting your music out there?
At least selling the music. I mean, SoundCloud has definitely been the biggest platform for me to reach out to people, because they have this social part that Bandcamp lacks. You know, where people they can comment on your tracks, and you can give feedback from people almost immediately when you put something out. So the single most important platform is definitely SoundCloud.
I'm hearing rumours that they might be on the way out soon, that they're not making any money, so they might have to close down. I'm hoping that's not the case, but
yeah, I've heard the same. I looked at the statistics, and they're losing money every year. So who knows what happens?
Well, it's funny, like even YouTube of all places, they're not making any money.
Yeah.
But I suppose that they've got Google behind them that's helping. But still, it's like these big websites, they're trying to promote what you're doing, but somehow they're losing money.
Yeah. It's a shame, because SoundCloud is a really good platform, but I think they got too big too fast. But
yeah,
I don't think they will vanish. I think if something happens, they will be picked up by a larger company or something like that.
So because the music you're doing is sort of lean towards the old school 80s, how does the imagery help with what you're doing? The imagery and like all the artwork that you've got, and the images that you've used, and the whole kind of vibe.
Well, in this scene is quite diverse. I mean, there are a lot of artists, and actually the biggest part are the artists that are the biggest right now. They are doing quite dark music, like really sort of the kind of music that you thought in the 80s you would listen to today. You listen to today, sort of dystopian future kind of music, and I really like that. I can really enjoy listening to it, but I need to have a mix about the more lighter and darker sounds when I made the music. So I try to take impressions both from the positive and the negative retro futuristic visions from the 80s, not only the sort of darkest parts.
Totally. So would you be doing a video clip for one of your tracks, or was that something you'd like to do? Like a video clip, or
sorry?
Do a video clip
on the show, I mean?
I know, like, just what I mean is like you have a song,
yeah,
and then you make a video clip for it that you want to, like, you're releasing the single and you have a video clip.
Oh, okay, I see. No, sometimes actually I really like to look at 80s commercials. So a lot of inspiration to music comes from 80s commercials, because they have this really sort of bright future vision usually that I really like. But usually I don't make any own animations or anything like that, very rarely at least.
Cool. So I'll leave you a few more questions. I'll leave you a few more questions and we're ready to rock and roll. And so is there anybody you would like to collaborate with?
Well, I usually had a really nice collaboration with Mattelvin. He's part of the Valerie Collective. And right now I cannot think about anyone in particular, actually. No. But I like to collaborate. I mean, collaborate with other artists. It's like I said before, just repeating your own impressions doesn't really get you anywhere. But when you meet other artists and collaborate with them, you tend to get a lot of new ideas. So yeah.
And if you could play with anybody, who would it be?
With anybody?
Yeah.
Good question. I've played with so many nice artists already, so just being able to play with more people from this scene would be great. I mean, just anyone.